Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bell Astrology Podcast. I'm your host and astrologer, Ashley, and this episode is dedicated to the new moon in Libra that is happening on October 21st. And this one will renew itself at 7:25 a.m. here in Central Time, and it's happening at 28 degrees of Libra. This one, I could tell you that I know exactly where, for me, this new moon is showing up. At new moons, it's a fresh start, it's a renewal energy. And as I was kind of researching and feeling into what this new moon was bringing, looking at the chart for October 21st, I already knew that this was going to be landing in my 10th house. My 10th house of career and public image. I can feel this one pulsing through me, through every part of my life right now. The theme of relationships, both personal and professional, could not be any louder right now. Between all of the podcast episodes, the video shoots, the events, the readings, planning, juggling, life, I have been pouring everything into what I'm doing right now professionally. And while it has been so thrilling and so fulfilling and so exciting, it's also been a lot. I had a bit of a moment yesterday wondering how I was going to get all of this done. Did I overcommit? Maybe. It's been a lot, and I've noticed this imbalance coming in. I notice this as I am a true Scorpio in my nature. I know that when I want something, I focus on it and I get a death grip on it. And we'll talk about that in the next episode because Scorpio season actually starts this week as well. But I've noticed that feeling of imbalance creeping in and trying to consciously not burn out, consciously not give too much of myself away. Libra has been whispering and saying, you cannot keep giving everything outward if you're not tending to your inside too, if you're not tending inward too. And so this new moon for all of us is a reminder to recalibrate. You may be feeling some imbalance in your life, especially leading up to the new moon. Whenever we have a new moon in the days before in the dark sky, we're often revealed the things that we don't want. So that when we get to that new moon moment, we set those intentions against the things that we don't want, so that what may be watered and grow and blossom are the things that we do. And so this one is inviting us all to begin again, to really find that middle ground, whether that's between drive and rest, ambition and intimacy, public and private life. Balance is not about perfection. It is a living, breathing action. It's about presence, not about perfection. And maybe you've been feeling this too in your own life at this moment, but this Libra new moon is inviting us all to begin again and to restore balance and beauty in our lives where we may have fallen out of harmony. And so Libra is the sign of relationships. She is the sign of balance and of justice. And it's the archetype that teaches us to find equilibrium through the lens of the other. And so under Libra, we learn the lesson that balance is not the absence of tension. It's the dance between ourselves and the other, between the give and the receive, between the truth and the compromise. And so even though this is a new moon in the sweet and balanced sign of Libra, there is a lot going on in the heavens right now. It's deeply transformative. And the reason for that, I want to dive into a few of the aspects and talk about just why this one might feel so much more potent, so much more inner reflective, calling for healing, calling for change. The first thing that I want to talk about is this new moon is opposite Chiron in Aries. Chiron in Aries right now is our collective wound around identity and selfhood and being ourselves, being one with ourselves, and that's being illuminated right now. There's this deep energy, this deep healing energy around finding the truth in who we are in our relationships. And Chiron in Aries brings forward this ache of, have I lost myself in my relationships? It highlights where you have maybe overgiven, where you've over people pleased, where you have these repeating patterns where you give, where you've shaped yourself around others' expectations instead of your own truth. And that can be really painful to realize and to actualize. And it's not easy to grow through. And so if you are feeling this way, or if you want to really use this new moon and the message around this new moon to ask yourself these questions and begin to really reflect on this in your own life. But how have you abandoned yourself for peace? Ooh, how have you abandoned yourself for peace? What patterns are you ready, therefore, to stop repeating? How are you going to stop doing that? And what would it look like to be in relationships, either with others or even most importantly with yourself? What would that look like to be in relationships that are balanced? What does balance mean to you? What does a mutual relationship look like for you? One that's nourishing for both sides. There is a very special aspect happening on October 21st with this new moon. And we call this a yod. And this new moon is the tip of the yod. A yod is referred to, this is the finger of God. And this aspect also includes Uranus, and it includes Saturn and Neptune. So there is tension here. There is tension, a restless urgency, energy, this feeling of something has to change. Something has to change. And we're being shown the imbalances in our lives to know that that area and that thing that we're doing, that experience, that pattern needs to change. Uranus brings up the unexpected. Saturn and Neptune, they bring confusion, boundaries, dreams. And so you might feel a bit stuck right now. You might feel unsteady or uncertain about what is your next step. But this is a new moon. This is where you're supposed to start. Focus on the start, starting something new, starting something different. That friction that you're feeling is sacred. This is the universe pointing at you that you are ready for a fresh start. And to notice that this is not like a stop sign. This is time to refine your fire. And so it's asking us to refine our commitments, where we're spending our time, to rebalance our day, to clarify where we've overextended ourselves, and to choose balance over burnout. Because when you get to the point where you realize that you get to choose, that's where you start to realize how much you've been self-abandoning for others, expectations, the external world around you. And so the silver lining here. Yes, that is a bit of heaviness with the new moon. Under a dark sky, we always go inward. It is a more quiet time. It's a time of reflection. I mean, there's no luminary in the sky. It's dark. We're meant to go inward. There's a lot of intensity here with that yod and with Chiron being involved, but there's also some gifts here. The heavens is blessing us with two grand trines. And we call this in astrology God-given gifts. And first we have a grand trine in water. So the water signs are all activated: Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And this is softening our emotional edges. You may feel a bit tender. You may feel like you have more to receive. You may be picking up more of your emotions or feeling more. And that's to help guide you with your inner compass, your intuition, and that which the message of this new moon is serving around. Where are you ready to release? Where are you ready to honor yourself and your emotions and your relationships? And this is gifting you this boost of really being able to access your own intuition and your own emotional intelligence. But also there's a grand trine in air. So Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. And this brings in a lightness, thank goodness. A bit of lightness, some perspective, some mental clarity. After all of that heaviness that we just talked about, there is this gift of lightness and clarity. And together, these two gifts that we're receiving right now, this is this blend of creating this rare blend of feeling and understanding, where the heart and the mind are connected. And that's so powerful. It's so powerful because it gives this confidence, this inner feeling, this inner knowing that there, amongst all of the chaos, we know there's healing to be done, and that can be done through chaos. A lot of times that is the trigger, that we don't move until we are forced to. But then sometimes that healing that we need, what we need most, comes through waves of clarity and through calmness and being just aware. So we all have access to this gift with this new moon, and to use it as we are planting our seeds of intention. And this is really another reason why this new moon is so impactful is this is the first new moon after eclipse season, which means that we've officially stepped out of that karmic tunnel. The eclipse portal closes with this new moon, and what remains here is clarity. It's clarity. And everything that you have learned through eclipse season, everything that you've grown through, what you've shed, what you've lost, that is all been an effort to make room for what you're planting under this new moon. And so this is your moment to really integrate that. And so what are you ready to start? Or are you ready to restart? Which relationships, including the ones with yourself, are you ready to invest into, to let go of maybe? But what beauty are you planting now that you're going to tend to over the next 6 months? Because that's what Libra asks for you to do, to make your intentions around creating a beautiful and peaceful life. Because when we reach that full moon in Libra, which happens during Aries season 6 months from now, you're going to be able to look back and you're going to be able to see how much growth and how much balance blossomed from what you set in motion right now. That's the power of working with these moon cycles and the lessons of the signs that they're happening in. It's already telling you that in 6 months, you're going to be so thankful that you did this work on your relationships, that you did this work to find balance, to bring yourself back into balance, because you're going to need it 6 months from now. Okay, so during this new moon, slow down and really reflect on these topics. look to where you have 28 degrees of Libra, because that's the area of life for you that this fresh start is being offered. That you will be able to really set your intentions around that area of your life. And that's the area that's asking for this work to be done, for these seeds of intention to be planted that will be illuminated in 6 months from now. So you can think about it that way. You are pre-paving for what is to come in 6 months. And like I said, for me, this is all in the area of career, my public image, my visibility, my purpose. For some of you, it might be your home, it might be your relationships, it might be your love life, your finances, or maybe it's your spiritual path. But 28 degrees of Libra is going to show you exactly what this means for you. And you want to set your intentions on bringing yourself back into alignment, because this is Libra, not perfect balance, just a living balance. Maybe that means setting stronger boundaries for yourself. Maybe that means allowing yourself to receive support, allowing yourself to partner. Maybe it's releasing those patterns that keep coming up, those patterns that keep you in cycles that keep coming up over and over again, where you overgive, where you self-sacrifice. And where can you really bring beauty into your world? You deserve it. You deserve peace. You deserve beauty. And so set your intentions around that. And most of all, be gentle with yourself. There's a lot being asked of you right now. You've been through a lot. This is a fresh start, but you want to be prepared to actually work on your intentions when you set them. If you're pouring from an empty cup, you're not going to make it very far, right? And so just be aware that with Chiron involved with this new moon, this could mean big feelings. It could mean some deep realization, some emotional release. So again, be gentle with yourself. But it's a recalibration time. And it's almost like this pause between what was and what's next. And you're ready for that. There's so much power in that pause. This is the moment where you get to rewrite your story. This is the moment where you remember that you don't have to lose yourself in the other, or to lose yourself to love deeply, that beauty can exist. It does exist, even in the mess and the chaos. You get to choose where you find beauty and what seeds you water and what you plant in this dark, fertile soil now. You get to watch blossom over the next 6 months. It's going to be new relationships, new collaborations, new peace with yourself. And that is worth doing this work for. Because what Libra teaches us is that harmony is not something that you find. It's something that you create. Thank you so much for joining me for this Libra New Moon episode. If you'd like to dive deeper into this new moon and really understand what is being activated in your chart, you can always sign up for a private birth chart reading with me. Head over to ashleybelastrology.com. Until next time, find your balance, find your peace, and let beauty lead the way. From my heart to yours, bye for now.